Okay. So this is a story about setting myself free from the expectation of always being in the middle, or always having balance. So I decided to sign up first. So you're all welcome. I'll give you the gift of going second. But I think part of it was also learning to step up as others are stepping back. But I typically don't like going first. But also it was selfish because I was like, well, if I go first, then there's no one to compare like what I said to. So, but then I had to make a choice about being honest about which prompts I was going to talk about. And so when I first read the prompts, like healing stood out to me. And I was like, I don't know if I want to share about the stuff I'm healing from. That feels a bit like too personal. And then so I picked a vision that, I initially picked a vision, like how have you experienced a vision, that you've thought of? And I have a really good story from last week. I was like, this is great. I was thinking about the audience. But then Luis, later on said that, like, let the prompt speak to you and like don't overthink it. It's like, okay, I'll go back and, And so I went back, but healing, I was just too nervous about healing. And so then liberation stood out to me because it reminded me about a poem that I had written about, again, setting myself free from this expectation. And I think for both liberation and healing, the reason why they both stood out to me is that it tapped into that sort of more creative side. So this is a poem that I wrote when I was doing my master's, about in 2012, 2013, about, just setting myself free from living up to the expectation of always having it together. So this is tightrope. Falling, rising, living, dying, crashing, heaving, weaving, dreaming, cleaving, leaving, coming, going, ebbing, flowing, shrinking, growing, sighing, trying, weeping, crying. Why can't I seem to find the middle ground? I'm told it's just around the middle ground. It's fleeting, cheating, creeping, sneaking. Help me, somebody, anybody, everybody? Isn't that what we're all here for? What? You tell me. Love, life, joy, fulfillment, bewilderment, disappointment, enchantment releases us, it frees us to be who we are meant to be. But does it? It traps us, caps us, keeping us in the future when today is the feature. Or is it? How can we move ahead without planning? How can we stay out of our heads without shunning the constant tug of tomorrow and focusing on the present? Is that the path to go? Or is there some magical way to keep all things in tow? You tell me. I don't know where to go to sow my dreams and watch them grow. Or should I not watch? Should I make them happen with toil and blood and sweat and grime, with CD and peswa, with nickel and dime, with sleepless nights and endless fights? But how can I do that without losing sight of the future? How can I keep my life from becoming a succession of sutures, of fixing and mending, holding what's broken, when I can create, or at worst imitate, what I find most passionate? I don't want to move from one project to the next when I can create a vision from idea to full-blown text. Do you even know what I'm talking about? I thought so. Because even I don't. I'm talking about life and the middle ground. Where is it? I think it's been pulled from right under our feet, and all that remains is a caricature complete of almost reaching, almost achieving, but never believing that dreams can come true, that we can be made new, that our sinews will appear with the morning dew. Be realistic, they say. Take your head from out of the clouds. But then they say, stand out from the crowd. Stand tall, shout out loud. But then you crush my every move and highlight my every mistake. I am no fool when my sanity is at stake. I will this hypocrisy no longer from the world take. Let me be, set me free, open the floodgates and let me drown. Hand me the staff, let me wear the jester's crown. At least then I will be at peace, in one piece, not broken and fragmented, always needing to be augmented by a society that is destroying my very sobriety. As a matter of priority, I will no longer give in to propriety. I will be mild and wild, adult and child, hot and cold. I will not fit the mold, hardworking and lazy, sane and crazy. I'll be what I want to be when I want to be, and there's no stopping me, because I don't want to be, I want to be. I will live with authenticity. My genuineness will be my guarantee. Take that from me. That is my surety. I will no longer walk this tightrope of middle ground. I'll run between extremes, panting and breathless, but with hope on solid ground. Thank you.
There we go. Amazing.